Hi, I'm Janae. This is my first video for Flosstube. I recently discovered Flosstube when I was looking up on YouTube how to do a certain stitch in a project that I'm working on, which I'll show you in a minute. And I didn't really find the particular stitch I was looking for, though I did find very similar ones, but what I did find was the Flosstube community, where people share what they're working on and talk about their projects and their hauls, and I just thought that was really fun. I'd like to be a part of it. I'm working on a couple projects right now too, as most of you are, and I really liked the first video I watched mentioned that she felt a lot better after seeing some Flosstube videos about all the projects she had started but not completed yet, because I do have several projects running as well as several coming down the pipeline. So things I've already bought but haven't started. But anyway, I wanted to show my works in progress and talk about them a little bit. So the one that I was looking up how to do on YouTube that introduced me to Flosstube is this one by Emmy Bishop. It's called the Faith Sampler, and I'll show a close-up of it. But it's a hardanger piece, so there's cutouts and kind of fancy stitches. So I was looking up how to do the Italian hem stitch with the woven herringbone, which they do have on YouTube, but I didn't even know how to prep the area, and so that's kind of what I needed help with. So I'm going to eventually do a tutorial on that line, which is the third line, but now I'm on the fifth line because I did figure out how to do the third line, and I'm doing some tutorials on that one too, just because there are basic skills for this style of stitching that I want to be able to help other people know how to do. So far, this is how much I have done on that. I started this project right around Thanksgiving time, so I've had December, January, February, so like just over 2 months, I guess, I've been working on this. And I really like how it's coming out. It's a tone on tone, so I'm not sure that you can see it well. If not, I'll kind of put in a little an extra picture. But there's an alphabet at the top here, and then there is another row that has some satin stitching but back stitching too. It's kind of like a viney arabesque-y type row. Then the third row is what I was looking up, which is the Italian hem stitch with the double herringbone, or the woven herringbone. It's called. Yeah, the woven herringbone. And I was trying to figure out how to do the reweaving part, which now I know how to do it. It's so simple, but the instructions weren't very clear. So that's why I want to do a little tutorial on that. And then the fourth row is a satin stitch with some gold threading through it. And then the fifth row, which I'm on now, is satin stitching, and then you have these cluster blocks with woven bars and dove eyes. And I just did actually a tutorial on these. I haven't posted it yet, but I wanted to make sure that I recorded how to do this, because now that I've done this row without recording it, I'm going to have to go back and do it like on a scrap piece of fabric, because I really do want to show people how to do that, because it took me a while to figure it out. But yeah, so hopefully I'll get this done this year. I'm on the fifth row now, and I think there are 8 rows, but the last row, the 8th row, is huge. So yeah, there's 8 rows, and the last row is just a ton of these cluster blocks, like what I just did today. So that's going to take a while, I think, and it's going to be kind of frustrating. But that's the main thing I'm working on right now. The next one I'm working on is by Little House Needleworks, which is probably like my favorite pattern company. I have like a ton by these guys, and it's called Lantern Lane. Now, this one is done in silks. I've never done a project in anything other than DMC, so I didn't actually even know that silks were a thing. But on the back of this, they have the silk colors, and then they also have hand-dyed cotton colors. They don't have DMC colors. So I got the hand-dyed cotton colors in the hopes it would be variegated, because in the image you can see that it's variegated and it looks really pretty. I thought it was different colored threads actually when I first bought it. I didn't realize it was one thread throughout, but I really did want to capture that, so I didn't try to convert it to a DMC color. I just decided to go with the hand-dyed cotton. Well, it turns out that the Lancaster Red by Weeks Dye Works, which is what they said for the hand-dyed cotton for the house, it's not very variegated, but I really liked the variegated coloring of the house because it makes it look like bricks. So I actually changed the way that I usually cross stitch on this piece. Usually I would go vertically, but this time I went horizontally because I wanted to get that variegation to look like bricks stacked on each other horizontally. And this thread that I got just isn't really cutting it. There's not a lot of variation in the color. So now I'm kind of thinking about, well, I'm wondering if it would be worth it to take this out, get the silk just for the red part, because other places in the pattern that have red are the initials of the stitcher, and then also the cardinals, and I love how the cardinals have the variation in color. The problem is that one skein of the silk thread is like $8, and then plus I'd have to take all this out, and I'm just not sure, so I don't know. What's your opinion on that? Let me just pull that out. But I haven't gotten very far on this one because it's a travel cross stitch, so usually when I'm at home I'm working on the other one, the Faith Sampler, but I will be going on a trip at the end of February, so I'll be bringing this with me. It's a really long flight, round trip, both ways of course, so I should be able to have a lot done by March on this. But yeah, I can't decide if I want to upgrade to the silk for the house or not. The other ones, they do look like they have some good variegation in the other ones, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. So, who knows? Still thinking about it. Now, the other ones that I'm working on, I'll show you this one because this is kind of most like a cross stitch. This is a tablecloth that I got from my grandmother. So we were cleaning out her linen closets one day and she was just going to give this away to the charity store. She had started it a long time ago, and it's like it's just like a linen tablecloth with a printed pattern on it, and I thought it was really pretty, so I took it. But this was like a long time ago, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I worked on it some but not enough. So this is currently a work in progress, but it's been stalled. I'm not working on it very actively, but I have worked on it within the past 2 months, so that's pretty good. But I like how it has this pattern in the corners, and then it has this all around the outside, and the blue is what I still have to do. And then the center has a pattern similar to this, but 4 of them kind of in a circle, like a crest shape. So there's that one, which I need to work on. because I really like it. I think it's pretty. It's just not as exciting because it's already printed, and I don't know, it's just not really my thing, but I do want to finish it for sure. And then my last main work in progress is a Hawaiian quilt, actually. I'm a big quilter. I haven't done a lot of quilting recently. I've done a lot more cross stitch recently, but I started this a couple years ago, and I just finished the applique part, and so now I'm going to have to quilt it. And I'm thinking of doing another one of these so I can do like shams for my bed, because the background color, it's kind of like a muslin. It's kind of the same color as my bedspread, so I thought it looked really nice. But this is the Hawaiian quilt, and it is a breadfruit, which is like the traditional piece to start with on the Hawaiian quilt. And I really like it because, I really like the red. Red is one of my favorite colors, and I like how it's so bold. And it wasn't really that hard. It just took a long time. Applique isn't that hard. It just took a long time to stitch. But I think it turned out really well. So I'm thinking of doing another one like this, so I can have like 2 like Euro sham size shams on my bed. And I think that looked really pretty. So that's pretty much it for me. As far as the type of pieces I like to do, I'm sure you can tell from my whips, I like pretty traditional styles, but I do like some of the pieces that I've seen on YouTube. Some of the artists on Etsy have some really beautiful patterns that I'd love to try, but I still have like 4 or 5 things waiting for me to do, so it might be a while. Well, it should be a while before I buy anything else to try, but I do look forward to doing some tutorials on how to do the harder parts of some of the cross stitches. And even I was thinking it might be nice to do a simple tutorial for somebody, for people who have never cross stitched in their lives. So I'm gonna do that sometime too, I think. But I look forward to making more videos, and I hope you enjoyed looking at my whips, and got a lot of good stitching done. Thanks.